5 telepathic signs. The real reason this person is always in your head. When one person never leaves your mind. Have you ever noticed how, no matter how busy your day is, no matter how many people you meet, no matter how much time passes, one person keeps appearing in your mind? You don't invite them. You don't try to remember them. Sometimes you even try to forget them. Yet suddenly, in the middle of a random moment, while you're working, while you're walking, while you're trying to sleep, their face appears, their name echoes, their energy returns. And the strangest part? It doesn't feel forced. It feels natural, almost automatic, as if your mind is responding to something unseen. Most people believe this happens because of attachment, memory, or habit. But what if that's not the truth? What if this constant mental connection is not coming from you, but from them? Today, you're going to understand something very few people ever realize. There are telepathic signs, invisible emotional signals, that explain why a specific person keeps living in your head. And once you recognize these signs, you'll understand the real reason behind this mysterious connection. Stay with this reading until the end, because one of these signs will resonate deeply with you, and when it does, everything will suddenly make sense. Sign 1. You think of them at random moments, not emotional ones. Here's the first telepathic sign, and it's powerful. You don't think of this person only when you're emotional. You think of them at random moments. You're calm. You're neutral. You're not lonely. You're not sad. And suddenly, they appear in your mind. No trigger. No reason. No memory attached. This is important, because when thoughts come from your own emotions, they usually follow a pattern. Loneliness, sadness, nostalgia, desire. But this thought doesn't follow that pattern. It arrives unexpectedly. That's because this thought may not be originating from you. Many psychologists and spiritual researchers agree on one thing. Strong emotional energy can travel subconsciously between two people who share a deep bond. When someone thinks about you intensely, when they replay moments with you, when they emotionally focus on you, their mind sends out signals. And if your emotional frequency matches theirs, your subconscious receives it. That's when their presence suddenly appears in your thoughts. This is not imagination. This is mental resonance. The reason this person is always in your head is because you are still active in theirs, and the connection has not been released. Sign 2. You feel their emotions without knowing why. Now listen carefully. Have you ever felt a sudden emotional shift without knowing the reason? Sudden heaviness, sudden calm, sudden sadness, sudden warmth. And later, when you think about it, that emotion feels connected to them. This is not coincidence. When two people are emotionally connected for a long time, through love, pain, attachment, or unfinished feelings, their emotional boundaries blur. You begin to feel what they feel even from a distance, especially if you shared deep conversations. You trusted each other emotionally. There were unspoken words, or the connection ended without closure. If this person is struggling, missing you, thinking about reaching out but holding back, your mind senses it before logic does. That's why they suddenly come into your head, not as a clear thought, but as a feeling. Your mind tries to interpret that feeling, and the image of that person appears. They're not just in your thoughts. They're in your emotional field. Sign 3. You feel a strange pull towards them, even after time has passed. Time is supposed to heal everything. Distance is supposed to weaken bonds. Silence is supposed to erase feelings. Yet with this person, the pull never fully disappears. You may not want them back. You may not even talk anymore. But something inside you still feels connected. This is one of the strongest telepathic signs. Because real attachment fades with time, but energetic bonds don't fade easily, especially when the connection was intense, the ending was incomplete, or one person still holds unresolved emotions. This person may still be emotionally attached to you, even if they don't show it, even if they act strong, even if they moved on externally. Their subconscious keeps pulling your energy. and your mind responds by bringing them into your thoughts. That's why they live in your head, not because you're weak, but because the bond is still active. Sign 4. You dream about them or think of them before sleep. The mind reveals its deepest truths when it is quiet. Before sleep, during dreams, in moments of deep stillness, that's when telepathic connections become strongest. If this person appears in your dreams, or you think about them right before sleeping, it's a sign of subconscious communication. When the logical mind shuts down, the emotional mind becomes open. That's when suppressed thoughts rise, hidden connections surface, unfinished emotional conversations continue. If they think about you before sleeping, if they miss you in silence, if they replay memories at night, your subconscious receives that signal, and you meet them mentally, even without words. This is why the connection feels so real, because at night the mind does not lie. Sign 5. You feel they will reach out, even without proof. This is the most misunderstood sign. You suddenly feel, they're going to message me. They're thinking about contacting me. They want to say something. And sometimes, you're right. But even when it doesn't happen immediately, the feeling doesn't feel false. That's because telepathic awareness doesn't always predict action. It senses intention. This person may want to reach out but is afraid. Pride stops them. Fear stops them. Circumstances stop them. But intention is still energy. And intention is enough to create a mental connection. That's why they stay in your head. The real reason they're always in your head. Now listen carefully. This is the truth most people never hear. This person is not always in your head because you can't move on. They are in your head because something between you is unfinished. Not always a relationship, not always a reunion, but an emotional chapter that hasn't fully closed. Sometimes the purpose is healing, understanding, growth, or learning to let go consciously. Until that lesson is complete, the mind keeps returning to the source. Final message. What you should do now. Don't fight the thought. Don't judge yourself. And don't assume it means weakness. Instead, ask yourself, what is this connection trying to teach me? Once you understand the lesson, once you gain clarity, the mind naturally releases what it no longer needs. And when that happens, if the connection is meant to continue, it will. If it's meant to end, it will end peacefully. Either way, you regain your power. Welcome to Psychology Fact. If you're curious about the hidden truths of the mind and heart, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon, so you never miss a fact that could change the way you see life.